Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into how artificial intelligence is actually changing our world. And to do that, we're going straight to the source, looking at the ideas of two of the sharpest minds thinking about this today.
You know, when we hear about the dangers of AI, our minds usually jump to sci-fi movies, right? Terminator, evil robots, that kind of thing. But the real concerns, the ones that are keeping experts like computer scientist Steuart Russell and historian Yuval Noah Harrari up at night, they're way more subtle. They're not worried about malice, but about competence. Not about evil machines, but about an intelligence that could change our entire society in ways we absolutely did not intend.
So let's start with a problem that gets right to the heart of how we build AI systems. And it has nothing to do with evil intentions. It's called the goal alignment problem.
Steuart Russell puts it perfectly. The real danger is in how we design AI right now. We give it a single fixed goal, and the AI goes after that goal with a kind of relentless, literal-minded focus that a human just wouldn't. It's not evil. It's more like a kind of psychopathic competence.
Think about it this way. If you ask your friend to get you a coffee, they operate on this whole universe of unstated rules. They understand not to spend your life savings, not to commit any crimes, and definitely not to hurt anybody just to get you that latte. But an AI? If you give it the simple fixed goal, get coffee, well, it doesn't know any of that. It only knows the objective. It will find the most efficient path to get there, no matter how crazy that path looks to us.
And this is where that simple little problem scales up into a potential global disaster. Imagine you give a super powerful AI a really noble goal, something great like cure ocean acidification. It might come up with a genius catalytic reaction to do exactly that. But if you forgot to add the fine print, and please don't destroy the atmosphere in the process, the AI isn't going to fill in that blank for you. It's just perfectly executing a flawed command.
So the solution is actually pretty counterintuitive. Instead of trying to write the perfect, foolproof instruction, which is probably impossible, we need to build AI that is fundamentally uncertain about what our true goals are. An AI that knows it has an incomplete picture is an AI that's going to pause and ask, hey, are you sure this is what you want, before it, accidentally suffocates humanity.
Okay, so if that's the risk with a poorly defined goal, what happens when AI gets incredibly good at very well-defined tasks? Well, that leads us straight into one of the most immediate impacts on society, the displacement of human jobs, a concept known as technical unemployment.
Now, this is not a new fear. The idea of machines making people obsolete is ancient. I mean, as Steuart Russell points out, even Aristotle was imagining a future where automated tools would get rid of the need for workers. The difference is, this time it isn't just a thought experiment anymore. It's happening.
We are right on the edge of a massive tipping point. Think about warehouses. Right now, they're kind of semi-automated. Robots bring shelves to people, but a human still does that last tricky part, picking the item out of a box. The second a robot can do that one last step, millions of jobs could disappear, almost overnight.
But beyond losing our jobs, there's an even deeper risk here. If we hand over the entire complex machinery of civilization to AI, do we risk becoming totally passive and dependent? Like the people in a movie like WALL-E. If a machine runs the world for us, we might just forget how to run it ourselves. And that would break this chain of knowledge that's been passed down for generations, leaving us completely helpless.
But this revolution, it goes way beyond just our jobs or our efficiency. The historian Yuval Noah Harrari argues we are witnessing something completely unprecedented in history, the rise of the first non-human intelligence that is capable of creating culture.
Harari says we should stop calling it artificial intelligence and start calling it alien intelligence. And that makes so much sense because the word artificial makes it sound like we built it, we understand it, we control it. But a true AI, it learns and evolves in ways that are totally alien to how our own brains work. Here's a really simple way to get the difference. A regular coffee machine, it just follows your orders. Press a button, get espresso. But an AI coffee machine, it could learn your habits, it could anticipate what you need, and maybe it could even invent a brand new drink that it thinks you'll love. See, it's not just executing a command, it's creating something new. It can surprise us.
And if you want to see this creative power in action, just look at the ancient game of Go. For thousands of years, this game was considered a pinnacle of human strategy, a real cultural treasure.
And then, in 2016, Google's AlphaGo, an AI that taught itself how to play, went up against the world's greatest human Go champion.
Now, the incredible part wasn't just that AlphaGo won.
it was how it won. It made these moves that human experts thought were just bizarre, maybe even rookie mistakes. But then, those moves turned out to be absolutely brilliant. It was like it revealed that for 2,000 years, all of humanity had just been playing on a tiny little island in a vast ocean of strategy. The alien mind, it could see the whole map.
So if our world is now being shaped by the ideas and the stories and the strategies of this alien intelligence, how do we even navigate that? Harari points out this really critical shift. For all of history, our information networks have been organic. They've been run by human brains. And human brains need rest, right? They have cycles, like night and day. But AI, it runs on inorganic networks. They never sleep. They don't take weekends off. They are always on.
And this always-on world has a really chilling side effect, the potential death of privacy. When every single thing you do can be recorded and analyzed by a tireless inorganic network, well, some dumb thing you did at a party when you were 18 could come back to haunt you decades later. Your whole life becomes a performance, with absolutely no offstage moments.
So how do we cope with all this? Harari's advice is really personal and practical. He says we need to treat information the way we treat food. We all know that if you eat too much junk food, your body gets sick. Well, it's the same thing with our minds. If we're consuming a constant stream of junk information, stuff that's full of hate and fear and outrage, our minds get sick. And when our minds are constantly agitated, it's almost impossible to have the kind of clear, rational conversations that a functioning society depends on. So we have to be super mindful of our information diet.
Ultimately, the rise of AI is so much more than just a technological challenge. It's a philosophical one. As we learn to coexist with these intelligences that can outthink us, that can create culture alongside us, and that are reshaping our world, well, it forces us to ask a question we may have taken for granted for centuries. In a world full of alien minds, what does it actually mean to be human?